because of the coronavirus.
Oh, I see. Did you stay in
Yeah,
touch with her?
I haven't. I should though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. We are live on YouTube and Zoom. Okay. Good evening. My name is Robert Tyree, and today I will be your sergeant at arms. Just want to give a quick temperature check. Just want to see how everyone is doing today. So if you're doing an amazing job, give me a thumbs up. If your day is a little so-so, a little thumbs in the middle. And if you're having a rough day, give me a thumbs down. Also, we have an amazing poll right now. Just want to check to see where you guys are at. Thank you, Ms. Brown, for that. Okay. Got 30 more seconds. Come on, y'all. Okay, got a lot. Okay. Well, majority of us are fantastic. Got a couple of great, and some of us just doing good. So listen, you're at club number 979269, Morgan State University. We are the world famous Morgan State University. You could have been anywhere on Zoom or YouTube, but you decide to check us out. We're so excited about what's going on today. We have a phenomenal cast that will be speaking, not for the first time, but after you get done your icebreaker, in my eyes, you're on your way to being a competent communicator, all right? Just want to go over some quick rules and regulations that we have for Toastmasters. If you can, if you're speaking today, right, want to make sure that you identify the timer. Timer, would you do me a favor? Would you please raise your hand for us? All right, thank you, timer. Thank you, timer. If you guys can, make sure that you pin the timer. Now, our timer today is Miss Brown. Wave to Miss Brown. All right, so if you have a computer, you can double click on Miss Brown, or if you go to the icon in the right-hand corner, the three dots, if you click on that, and if you either pin the timer, you'll be able to see her when she is holding up her signs, all right? Right now, I would like to pass the baton on to our Madam President, Miss Natasha Brown. Ms. Brown, come off of mute and say hi to the world.
Well, hello world. Greetings, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. I'm so happy that you are with us this evening. And let me check out this poll. I love the fantastics. It brings the energy up when I see the fantastics coming through. So I'm so excited that you all are doing fantastic and great this evening. So Toastmasters, I don't know if we are all family up in here, but for those who are watching that are here for the first time, here at Toastmasters, we provide a safe environment for our members to grow in communication and leadership skills. All right, we are family here. This is a safe space. We go from being a member to a contest winner in less than 3 months. We have some people here today who have did just that. Even if speaking is not your ultimate goal, you just want to be more confident in the things that you say, the conversations that you have. Maybe you're a bridesmaid and you have to say a toast at a wedding. We prepare you all and we give you the tools that you need to be able to do that confidently, right? And you'll be able to see some people who have prepared speeches for you all tonight, amazing speeches. So I'm going to go ahead and get out the way and introduce you to our Toastmaster of the evening, Miss Tabitha Anderson.
Okay, good evening, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and thank you for that wonderful presentation. As your Toastmaster for the day, it is my responsibility to introduce today's speakers. Tonight's theme is Representation Matters, and I want to ask you all a question. Who did you want to be when you grew up, and how did that play into who you became as an adult? I wanted to be a news anchor I wanted to be Brenda Blackman. She came on UPN 9 News as a child after Moesha. She was strong, classy, and intelligent. And I loved that she was intelligent. That just did something for me. And I aspired to be like her. She was like Michelle Obama to me. So with that said, that is who I wanted to be. And we're going to move on now. I'm not mistaken to, I'm going to introduce you to our counter-grammarian, which is going to be Tyrone Thorpe. And our timer is going to be Natasha Brown. Tyrone, can you give the participants a description of what you're going to do tonight? And
Good
then
evening,
Natasha.
all. Gladly. I'm Tyrone Thorpe. I'm your grammarian for the evening, our counter grammarian, and my job is to make sure that you use the English language in the manner it is intended. So I'm looking for your filler words, your so, somes, you knows, long pauses, and most of the conventions of English, not all of them, because they're quite voluminous, but things such as subject verb agreement, pronoun antecedent, things that are helping, things that you may see as, oh, this stops and blocks just effectiveness. And the word of the evening that I chose is a Latin term and usually done in political circles, or at least for people who are famous. It's mea culpa. Think of it as a public relations my bad. It means you acknowledge a fault, but you do it publicly. People who are in office do it when they're caught usually, or when they make a mistake and they say, oh, I made a mistake and it's on the record. So I got to make it on the record that I made a mistake. My bad. That's called a mea culpa. Do well. Look forward to good speeches and good evening.
Okay, Natasha, are you able to tell the participants what you'll be doing tonight?
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so I will be your timer this evening, and I will be changing my backgrounds to different colors when the time comes. So starting off, our speakers have 5 to 7 minutes. So when you get to 5 minutes, you will see green. 6 minutes, yellow. 7 minutes, red. Then we have table topics. Table topics is 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, green, 1.5 minutes, yellow, 2 minutes, red. Then for evaluations, 2 to 3 minutes, 2 minutes, green, 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes yellow, and 3 minutes red. All right. And that will be all. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Natasha. So, okay, we're going to move on to our first speaker, and that will be Ryan Dunstan. He will be speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Ryan's title of his speech is called Flow. And the intro for that is what's needed in your life for flow and creativity to take its rightful place in your life. Thanks, Ryan.
Hey, you all. Hope all is well. All right, flow. What's needed in your life for flow and creativity to take its rightful place in your life? Mental blocks happen to us all, I feel. I feel this can be different. I feel this can be for numerous reasons and probably differs from person to person. But for me personally, distractions and fatigue causes periods where I experience mental blockages. Distractions can range anywhere from family disputes or tragedies to problems at work, financial pressure, or even relational disagreements, not just with family, but with business partners or even friends. I'd even stretch further and say that in my own experiences, self-doubt fueled by negative narratives I kept alive through the versions of the stories I told myself about the trauma I suffered caused self-esteem issues that also blocked the view of my own gifts and powers, which contributes to my flow. Powers like confidence, creativity, love, forgiveness, and joy. Not being able to tap into these powers and gifts hindered my advancement forward in some cases. With the gift of hindsight, I see now my view of the problems were from mud, which is just simply life misinterpreted. And as a result, forced me to react in emotions which distorted my vision and comprehension, which also blocked my flow. I'll explain more. I heard on a podcast once that flow state, also known by the popular expression as being in the zone, is a mental state in which a person performing some activity and is fully immersed in a feeling of energized focus, full involvement, and enjoyment in the process of the activity or goal. At the time I heard that, I was struggling to find my own flow. And life problems are constant. It's how we view and react to those problems in our lives that keeps us still, like a deer in headlights sometimes. It's hard to view and react to problems in our lives that keep us still. But for myself, I was that deer. Sometimes problems, they beat you down to the point where you feel you have nothing left to give. I felt broken. The breaking point for me was my mother having a stroke right in front of me, might I add. Not only was the experience for me traumatic, for months I contemplated on how I would manage this new life in an already difficult transition. In my eyes, it couldn't have happened at a worse time. I couldn't think about how I would move forward, let alone thrive in the business I was in. I couldn't think about anything but my problems, which sent me on a cycle of emotions. One day I was angry. The next day I was sad. The next day I was numb. The cycle repeated itself for half a year almost. I simply couldn't move forward. I knew why she had the stroke, but my question was, how could this happen now? The way I found clarity was by three fundamental philosophies. The first was fasting. Fasting incorporated much needed discipline in that struggle, which provided the fasting provided a much needed spiritual enlightenment along the way. I absolutely needed to get out from underneath the emotions. It had become extraordinarily clear that forward thinking and moving forward wouldn't occur unless I did. The second philosophy was I had to change the way that I prayed. I found that when I was brutally honest about how angry and sad I was, and I mean really, really honest, the blockage had begun to clear. My mom's stroke provided healing for herself and for a lot of people around her, including me. I was so busy trying to be a man's man that I missed the pent-up anger and energy that needed to come out. It was obvious that God used the stroke to break me, gracefully, I must say. The third philosophy is I began allowing God to move in my life. I gave him the wheel. Now that things were clear, I trusted him even more. Now, because he gave me no choice to get closer to him. I can't tell you that I have been an expert in flow. But what I will say is this: when you're in it, and I mean really in it, locked in, loving what you're doing and creating, you have created a positive cycle for yourself. You will love who you will begin to become and what you will begin to create. Your flow will have you feeling good about the worst of situations. You'll be able to thrive through them. Your flow will begin to reinforce and provide even more fuel for your why power. And as your capacity grows, the vision forward will become even more clear. And at that point, God can show you and give you more flow.
Thank you, Ryan. That was an awesome speech. We all really appreciated that. Would you like to share with us who you wanted to be when you grew up? And how did that?
Oh.
Would you like to share who you wanted to be when you grew up and how that rolled over into adulthood?
Oh, sure. Well, you said who I want to be when I grow up? I'm sorry.
Who
When you went over that, I
who
was
did you
reading
want
my
to be?
Who did I want to be? Oh, it was generic. I mean, I wanted to be the police officer or firefighter. It wasn't anything where I am now, which is a loan officer.
You're an officer. You're still an officer.
I
Okay.
get the message.
I'm going to roll over to King, our second speech of the night. Okay. So once a paramedic in the Baltimore City Fire Department, King Tisdale has evolved into being a spiritual life coach of the esoteric philosophy of life. With his empirical approach to living, King comes to bring a new theory to the stage life to be known as Kingology. King's the author of 2 published books, The Power of Choice, Path of Divine Royalty to Conquer Darkness, and his anthology entitled Extraordinary Epiphanies of a King. King Tisdale is now chooses to boldly go where no one has gone before. Fear is not an option. Thank you, King.
Okay. Okay, great. I will begin my speech starting now. So, love is the answer to all things, and it cannot fail as long as it is pure and undefiled. For if love is ever found to be defiled, then it is no longer love, but a solution of the thing that has defiled it. Therefore, love can never be charged for any failure on its part, because love never fails. Hence, whatever the thing may have been that brought forth the corrupt form of love, that then is that thing which has defiled love and has failed you. Love's purity cannot be mixed with additives or preservatives, for her strength alone has the power to always shine forth. So beware of what you choose to put in the mix, because it will be your mess to clean up. Greetings, my fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guest. I am King Tisdale, giver and receiver of a deeper wisdom. I honor the divine in you and the divinity in those who have come before us. Ours is a society that seeks to blame things for failure, no matter what. This, to me, is clearly not the way to go, because in every failure, there must be a lesson learned, a weakness to uncover, or a thing that needs to be revealed or eliminated. Otherwise, the risk of repeating the failure will always remain higher than your probability for success. Allow me to explain. Just as a cup of water is a cup of water, so too is love. Love is forever receptive, and it is also giving and embracing too. Water envelopes all that is immersed within it. And this is also the same for true love. Love has always been this way since its beginning, of which we cannot fully understand the context thereof in our limitations of reasoning inside the box. Nonetheless, just as a cup of pure water is the molecular structure of 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen, so too is love, the composition of all that makes it, the source force of God as God throughout all creation. This is something the world seldom chooses to think of. Now, if anything is added to water, then water is no longer pure, but it can be still considered water, even if it has other components such as minerals and nutrients that do not take away from its initial purposefulness. So too can be said of love. But if I add to the purity of water that transforms its molecular structure or its composition, then it is no longer water. The best example of this would be to mix sulfuric acid to the water substance, which transforms it from water to being a solution of sulfuric acid, or to add Kool-Aid, for then water will not be what it was, but something entirely different, lacking the original qualities of what it was when it was pure and free of contaminants. And still, people have been known to still drink the Kool-Aid. So, how is love treated? And is being treated by you and the rest of humanity? And what are our various social constructs really doing that ignore her? And what are those things, those strange and unusual things that others choose to mix in and dare still to call it love? Oh, the wretchedness of it all. I am so tired of this treatment to humanity. For the time has come to recognize that we will all either live a life dedicated to love or life dictated by fear. There is no between. Life dictated by fear is a path that leads to destruction while the other cannot. Life dedicated to love is the path of living abundantly and creatively and lovingly while the other cannot. It is by the divine authority of the Spirit of truth we have the ability and authority to live, move, and have our being as divine ambassadors of love. Or we can choose to ignore our divine right to this tree of life's loving. The Spirit of truth is our guide to the better understanding and orchestration of what divine operation has for the souls of humanity before the beginning of time itself. I have learned to lean upon this divinity, and upon this confidence, I stake my life. Namaste.
That was so good. Thank you, King. So
Thank
much
you.
wisdom. I love to hear you speak. I loved it so much. Okay, so before we go to our timer, I wanted to give you guys 5 reasons why representation matters. And if you wanted to share who you wanted to be when you grew up, I would love to hear that too. King.
I actually wanted to become a thoracic surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere when I was in the 8th grade. And I ended up working at Johns Hopkins for a while. But then I started seeing how there's a tier of fear in the community of the doctors, and it kind of rattled my cage. So I ended up becoming a paramedic with the city of Baltimore. And that's what's given me my empirical knowledge and I'm grateful for where I am now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Great. Thank you for sharing. So we're going to move on, actually, not to the timer. We're going to move on to table topics with Dr. Kimberly Reeves.
Good evening, everybody. I hope that everybody is well. I am your table topics master for this evening, Dr. Kimberly Reeves. May I have 4 volunteers, please? Preferably people that have not seen Billie Holiday. Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. Good to see you,
Okay, good to see you as well. Jasmine, I can't see everybody's hands, so you can just either shout it out or Jasmine. Anybody else in the chat? Let's see. Anyone else? I guess they saw Billie Holiday, huh?
John put his hand up. John Gilmore, Kim.
John, I want to explain it after Natasha. John, okay. Shauna. Oh, table topics gives you the opportunity to give an impromptu speech. Okay, and tonight we are going. Our topic of discussion is going to be about Billie Holiday. Okay, so I need one more. Angela, thank you very much, everybody. So this weekend, I had the privilege of watching Billie Holiday, and it was absolutely phenomenal. For those of you that did not see it, I recommend going to see it. Not only was she a singer, but she was a civil rights activist who paid the price for being that, right? So I would like to, as I was listening to her music, I could hear her heart, right? So I want to play an excerpt from a few of her pieces. And I would like for you, Billie Holidays, to tell me what your heart is saying in this song and what inspired you to write it if you were Billie Holiday. All right, you ready? Okay. First one. First one is Jasmine.
Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what's said. Why people tear the seam of anyone's dream is over my head.
Okay, Jasmine, on 4, 3, 2.
Can I hear that one more time? I'm sorry.
Okay. All
right. Do nothing till you hear from me. Pay no attention to what's said. Why people tear the seam of anyone's dream is over my head.
Okay, Jasmine.
Ooh. Dang, and this is on YouTube Live now, so y'all took this up to a whole nother level. I gotta bring it a little bit. Let me see.
Creative.
It's been a while since I've done this. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know that you may have heard the African American vernacular term, keep my name out your mouth. And I honestly feel that at the time Billie Holiday must have felt that someone else was writing her destiny, was writing her life. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Sometimes I feel that someone could be writing my own destiny, could be writing my own life. For example, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. For those that know me, literally, I'm starting a new business every day. But others in my family are like, oh, this girl's crazy. Every time I come up with a new business idea, it could be, here we go again. But at the end of the day, this is my destiny and this is my path. So I just would prefer people during Thanksgiving dinners and Christmas dinners to just keep my name out their mouth. That's all. Thank you. Have a lovely evening. Sorry, y'all.
Thank you, Jasmine. The next one, John Gilmore. You ready? Here we go.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe apart across the way.
Okay. John Gilmore on 5, 4, 3, 2.
I did not hear the words to that.
You didn't hear the words?
No, it could be me.
Is my system low? Did anybody else hear it?
Yes, I heard it.
I heard the music, but the words were a little bit.
The words were not clear?
The lyrics were immutable. The music stood out more than the lyrics, is what's the consensus.
What song is that? Maybe I can.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe apart across the way.
Okay. Did you hear it now? I'll be seeing you. All the right. Did anybody else hear it? Did you hear it?
I just now looked up the lyrics.
Oh.
All right. To me, it's more of remembering the good times, remembering the better things that, although might not have been exactly like that, sometimes we prefer to think of the better things in life that keeps us going, that keeps us happy. That's what I heard from that.
Okay, very good. Okay, the next one, Shauna Warner.
Yes.
That's Shauna Warner? Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. This one should be good for you.
ain't nothing I can do or nothing I can say that folks don't criticize me. But I'm going to do just as I want to anyway. And don't care just what people say.
Wow. Come on, Shauna. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sorry.
Good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. My name is Billie Holiday, and I thank you, Ms. Dr. Reeves, for asking me about that particular song that I sung on the evening of December 12th, 1966, where when I was singing, what my heart was saying is that as a woman of confidence, I know that there is nothing that no one can say to me or do to me that's going to deter me from believing in myself. I know that my confidence starts with what I believe about myself and where I believe I can go. And I had to make it clear to all of you all out there that I know myself. I know that I am wonderfully, amazingly made, and that my voice is superb. And no matter who likes it or not, I like it. And clearly, I have an audience of beautiful people out here listening to me. And I hope that when I wrote this song, that I inspired some other young ladies out there who are maybe struggling with their confidence, so that they know also that no matter what anyone says or do, that they can be whomever they want to be, and they can dream of whatever they want to dream, regardless of anyone else's opinions. So this was really dedicated to the ladies out there that are struggling with finding their confidence, as well as the young ladies out there who I want to dream to be whatever they want to be, regardless of if it's a male dominated industry or not, regardless of whether you're the first Black woman to enter into that industry. You have the ability to be whatever you want to be, because as I said, there is nothing I can't do or nothing that I can't be. So thank you for having me tonight.
Yes. Shauna. Okay, next we have Angela. Miss Angela, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, this is the fire starter here. This is what caused the trouble. I'm gonna play it. Southern trees bear strange fruit, blood on the leaves and blood at the root. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar tree. Okay, Angela, take it away.
Good evening, Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and yes, let's dance. Let's put our hands together and let's dance. When I was writing this song, I was thinking of my body, the movement of my body. When I was thinking about love, I'm loving my body. I want you to think about your body. The movement of your body. When you use your hands, what are you using your hands for? Are you hugging yourself? Are you really moving your hips from side to side? Because you feel the beats, you feel movement from all the love that you receive. So when I think about this song, when I wrote this song, I was saying, okay, we are going to think about the silence. We don't have to speak about it, but our body can tell the story. So moving the body in love, it flows, as a young man talked about it today, the flow of the body speaking on my behalf. What is my body saying? Love. And so I want us to think about when we want to express love, don't just talk about it, but be about it with your body, showing love. This is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Love. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Angela, for that. I was about to give Fidel another song. However, this was a very thought-provoking song. And I would love for someone else to also try to give this song a shot. And when you see the movie, or if you don't know the history about Billie Holiday, you'll see why I put such an emphasis on this particular song. Okay, so Fidel, would you like to do this song, or would you like to do the one afterwards?
Hey, I can do the one afterwards if that's okay.
Okay.
Hush now, don't explain. Just say you'll remain. I'm glad you're back. Don't explain. Fire, don't explain. What is
Fidel?
Yes, can you play it just one more time, please? Um,
hush now, don't explain. Just say you'll remain. I'm glad you're back. Don't explain.
Okay. Fidel?
um, let me turn my camera on. Okay. If I can explain, um, I feel like it's saying like more like to believe in yourself. She did say, you know, if I heard correctly, like say your name, and that's probably like a term of like endearment. Um, and I'm trying to see what else I can pull from it, but like the gist of it is like, just be who you are, and you know, and just you know, have confidence in yourself. At least that's what I pulled from it.
Very good. Thank you. Fidel is very shy, by the way, so I am just so blown away. Thank you very much. You all did such a wonderful job. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Kimberly Reeves, with your table topics and Billie Holiday music. It was really nice. Okay, we're going to move on to the evaluators. But as I was saying before we move on, I wanted to give you guys 5 fun facts on why representation matters. Representation matters because everyone should see someone or an image that they can relate to. It helps us to embrace our culture. There are stories that are missing. It's realistic, and everyone deserves to see themselves as their heroes. And the one about their stories are missing really got to me, because let's say you had a dream or aspiration and you never seen someone accomplish this thing. It can be discouraging, but then also there could be a twist on it. I was reading about Jim Carrey and how his father did not follow his dreams. And because his father did not follow his dreams and he failed at life, it only motivated Jim Carrey to follow his dreams. So seeing his father as a representation not follow through with what he wanted to do only motivated him to do what he wanted to do and succeed. So with that being said, we're going to move on now to our evaluator. That will be, let's see, evaluations, Ms. Shauna, and she's going to be evaluating Ryan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Tabitha. I'm going to pass this to our general evaluator, Ms. Eva.
Oh, thank you. Y'all go ahead on. Thank you, Tabitha, and thank you, Shauna. At this point, the general evaluator, my task is to just give an overall view of how the meeting went. But before I get there, we want to go to the evaluations of our great speakers. The first evaluator will be Ms. Shauna Stepp-Jones. She will be evaluating Ryan Dunson. Ms. Jones, take it away, please.
Thank you. So, Ryan, let me see if I can see you. I need to find you, Ryan. Where you at, Ryan? I still don't see you, Ryan, but I see you, Ryan. Okay, so Ryan, I want to start off with letting you know that I commend you on your effort. Really commend you on your effort. Week after week, you come, you volunteer, and you execute. So I notice it, our members notice it, and I want to just personally commend you on your effort. Then I want to go into the fact that you gave us a very descriptive personification of flow, and you were able to connect to us by being transparent about your personal life events concerning your family circumstances and how you personally manage. And that allows us to relate to you. And so I want to commend you also on that transparency that makes you become a real person that draws us in and makes us want to know more about what you're saying. You also did an excellent job on clarity. We could hear you clearly. You spoke clearly. You you used the correct language from what I heard, and Mr. Thorpe can correct me if I'm wrong later, but you were very clear. I understood and have any problem understanding what you were saying. You did an excellent job on your comfort level. You seemed very comfortable delivering your speech, and probably because you were transparent, because you were talking about something that you personally dealt with that you could speak on. And so your comfort level was excellent. You did very good at that. One thing that you may want to work on is your vocal variety. And your vocal variety has a lot to do with the tone and speed and volume. And so when you want to emphasize certain points, it is important that you utilize these tools, these speaking tools, your tone, your speed, and your volume as much as possible, because that also attributes to your ability to engage us. One thing that you may want to challenge yourself on is possibly using an outline versus a full written speech. And I could tell that it was written because you weren't able to keep your eye contact on us. And so it's a challenge. I'm even trying to challenge myself to do it. I haven't met that challenge, but I definitely think that that would help you give a more impactful speech. Also, it will allow you to use physical gestures and ultimately increases your engagement. But overall, Ryan, again, you did a great job. I commend you on your effort. Continue working on your vocal variety. And I want to see you again on the screen.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shauna Steph Jones, for that great evaluation for Mr. Ryan. Next, we will have the second evaluator will be none other than our president, Ms. Natasha Brown, and she will be evaluating Mr. King.
Hey, Miss Eva, if it's okay, I'm gonna let Ms. Brown just take a pause, and I'm just gonna evaluate Mr. King. Is that all right?
All right, that's fine. Well, let me introduce Mr. Robert. He will be evaluating Mr. King. Thank you for stepping in.
All right, good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and distinguished guests. My name is Robert Tyree. I'm the VP of Education and the evaluator for Mr. King. All right, Mr. King, the title of your speech is I Stake My Life in Love. I love it already. Mr. King, want to start with some glows, things that you excelled at during your speech. The way that you were fully prepared for your speech, so much knowledge. I know you are a man of wisdom, and the way that you were able to articulate that in a speech was amazing, sir. Presentation, you stood up full body. It's different than before. And you took feedback and you used it for the speech. I'm watching you, sir. The way you use visual aids, right, as an object lesson. I love it. Comparing water to love. I'm not even going to try to even analyze or define what you were speaking about, but I definitely understood that you were trying to give us a take on just be careful what you are trying to infuse, right, in your love. So that's what I took from it. The purpose of this speech was, or this project was to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. And we'll get into that in a second.
Robert, you're frozen. Okay.
Uh-oh. Robert disappeared on him. No, he's still there as the screen, but I can't see him.
He's a little frozen.
Okay.
Okay.
Doggone it.
Okay. Maybe we'll
let it go.
Let me see if he's going to come. I think he's working on it. But both of the speeches were really great. I enjoyed them. I'm trying to take notes at the same time. And if he doesn't pop back in, I'm going to move forward and then I'll kick back to him so he can finish. Is that okay? Give me thumbs up if that's okay. All right, while we're waiting on him, I'll move right on down the line to our counter and grammarian, which will be none other than Mr. Tyrone Thorpe is back.
Good evening, all. I'm the grammarian for this evening. And as a heads up, well, two heads up, actually. I started when Tabitha announced and called the meeting to order, and I stopped after Kimberly Reeves' Dr. Reeves' table topics. And also, the table topics master and the Toastmaster will be mentioned the most because they had the most opportunities of speaking. That said, let me start. Tabitha, you had two uhs, one wanna, one gonna, and one so. And I think maybe it may be how I heard you say guest. I sound like you said guest instead of guest plural. Natasha, you had one Tabitha comes back again with so okay. Just pick one of the two. You don't need to have both of them. Then you have one Then introducing Ryan, you had the intro for, but then you stopped yourself. You didn't need to read the intro for, just go to the intro. Then Ryan, you had all right. Be a little cautious in how you use all right. You don't want to use it to the point where it adds nothing and it's just there. Then you said cause when you meant to say cause because you were talking about a past event. Then you said powers like, I don't remember the last word. You could, when you say powers like or something's like, say such as, because when you say something is like, I'm going to think and ask, is it really like, as a mirror image like? Then you had 3 uhs to follow. Then you said problems. I'm trying to think of which. Let me skip that sentence and go further. You said the cycle repeated itself for half a year almost. You could say the cycle repeated itself for almost half a year. Then you said change the way that I prayed. You can shorten it by saying changed how I pray. Sometimes less is more. And then you said even, you said vision, even made clearer. You could say even made more clear. You could just say made clearer. Vision made clearer. Tabitha comes back with 2 more uhs, and then she introduces Mr. King. Mr. King, you don't have to introduce that you're introducing. Just go right into the speech. Then I thought you said guest singular. It may be how I heard it. It would be plural. And then I thought you were saying risk with a W when you probably meant R-I-S-K, which is probably what you were saying. I just heard it differently. Then you want to make a sentence parallel. You were saying, how is love being treated by you? And you can just say, how is love being treated by you? Make a parallel sentence all the way through. Tabitha comes back with okay, so just pick one of the two. And then King had a great line, tear of fear. That was a great line. Very witty and definitely not cliche, so it will last long. Dr. Reeve comes in with 4 ums. And she had preachers repeat with R. She was excited to go to the speech, but her thought wasn't right there. So she kept saying R until she got to the next speech. Jasmine, you have okay, so. I think that's a theme here. Okay, so is being repeated a lot. Just pick one of the two. You don't need both of them at the same time. And then you have one John has all right, I'm. You don't need that. Just go to I'm. And then you have one Shauna has one and you had preachers repeat. You said as a. You were repeating your speech about being great. And that's the thing. All you had was preachers repeat. You were excited. You said as a, and all of you. And then you could say, you were talking about empowering the ladies in the beginning. You could say all of you. I'm not going to read that again because I'm about to drown in my own thoughts, but it was great so far. Okay, now I got the thought. You were saying they know also. You can just say they also know. And then you said ladies out there that are, ladies out there who are. That means they're an inanimate object. Who means they're a person. And then you said, no, that was something else. That was me writing my own thoughts. And then Angela comes in with and so. Just pick one. That's the theme of the night. People were saying and so. Then Angela has 2 uhs. Fidel, you had 5 ums, 4 likes, 3 you knows, and 2 more likes. Please repeat. And that is the end of my report, which is probably the shortest one of the year that I've ever given this period.
Welcome back, Tom. Welcome back.
And I must say this. Do not take of this moment as I got to say this because it always happens when you have the role of grammarian. Do not think of this as a gotcha moment. It's just pointing out what you probably have hidden in plain sight and recognize as not something that's deficit. Because when it's you saying it, it sounds good because it's you saying it. But when it comes out in another voice, it's like, oh, wait a minute. That's when the brakes kick in. So think of it as to say, okay, let me revisit this and let me polish it up further. That said, good evening. And Dr. Reeves, you threw me for a loop with Billie Holiday. Lady Day is great. And the right songs too. Good job.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tyrone is back. Very good in critiquing and giving us insight on how we speak and how we should speak. I learned well from him for many a day. Next, we will have our timer. Ms. Brown, come right in. Our president is multitasking tonight. Let's give her kudos. Yes, that's what it's about. Thank you.
You're welcome. So good evening. I'm going to try to keep my timer hat on and not talk about this amazing meeting. I'm just going to talk about the time. All right. So starting with our prepared speeches, Mr. Brian Dunstan, you came in at 6 minutes and 22 seconds. King Teasdale, 7 minutes and 2 seconds. Awesome job. It was 5 to 7 minutes, so you both did a great job. We want to make sure we make it to that 5 minutes and don't go over that 7. So that was perfect. Table topics. Jasmine, 1 minute and 10 seconds. John, 33 seconds. I was going like this. Did you see me going like this, John? All right, Shauna, 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Angela, 1 minute and 34 seconds. Fidel, 31 seconds. Thank you all for volunteering, especially, of course, our guests. So I'm just super excited when I see that. So 1 second is also when I see a guest stepping up here doing their thing. Next. Oh, evaluations. I got to Shauna's, which was 2 minutes and 37 seconds. And Mr. Tyree was cut off, so I wasn't able to, we didn't catch that time, but amazing evaluation from what we did have a chance to see. And that's all that I have. Great job tonight with the time.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm not sure if we have enough time to go back to Tyrone to conclude with Mr. King. Let me know, yes or no.
Sure.
Robert?
It's okay for me to
pick up where you left off at, yes.
Got you. I'll be quick and short. Also, I want to apologize for the technical difficulties, y'all. That's why you should plan and always have 2 computers if you have to. All right, so Mr. King, just having a shorter intro, some clear points. It don't have to be 3, but clear points that we can take away. A call to action. So I believe that you did have one, but I think if it was just simpler, it'd be easy to grasp. Also, just one thing I want to just encourage you is to engage with your audience a little bit more. So I think that some things that I've learned as a teacher that we could do is using the chat. You could ask the question at the beginning of the speech. What's your definition of love? Or how important is love? Or why should love not be tainted? Or even a poll. So I know your speech was about engaging and inspiring, but there are 2 ways you could have done that by using the chat feature or the poll. So other than that, though, phenomenal speech, and I can see the progress every time that you speak. So keep on speaking, and can't wait to see the next one, sir. Thank you, Ms. Eva.
Thank you so much, Robert, for completing that evaluation for Mr. King. Now comes the time of what I thought about the meeting. As the general evaluator, the meeting did start on time. 7 o'clock, we were right on time. I'd like to thank Robert for stepping in. That's one thing that we do. We just step in, and he stepped right in to be the sergeant at arms for tonight because things do happen with other people. So I'd like to thank you for that. Tabitha, are you sure you just started with us? You came right out of the box from last week, first of all. Then this week, you came so well prepared with the background behind you, and you said what you wanted to be was a news anchor, and you pulled it off tonight. Very great job for a first-timer being. Never think that you cannot do any of the tasks, anything that's on the agenda. Trust me, you can. I loved it. I loved it. You gave it your all. Our president always on the move with those polls. I think that just gives us an extra boost to get our night started. How are we feeling? Because some of us, it's like we've been through a rough road. We're tired, we're fatigued, or we're fantastic, good, and happy. And I like that about that she gives that poll to reassure us that it's going to be okay, even if we don't start off in a fantastic mood. Tyrone, like I said, he's back. None other like him can be the grammarian counter. He will take it to the every I dotted and every T is crossed. Thank you, Tyrone. All righty. One thing I would like to do when you're introducing, make sure you find out what level and path that the speaker is on. We may be able to follow a little better if we know. We heard King's, but I didn't hear Ryan's, what path and level he was on. I love King. Mr. Ryan, always very transparent. He speaks from the heart every time he speaks. And Mr. King, you just show your face and start talking, and you mean what you say. Your name represents you very well as a Black king. I really enjoyed that. One thing I would like to say, keep in mind when we are using the backgrounds, watch your hand movement and your head movements because it flows into the background for everybody that's trying out the new backgrounds. I do love the fact that Natasha, our president, used the color backgrounds. That was par excellent because anytime I clicked on, I could see her colors changing from green, yellow to red. So I really, really like that as well. King, and you sound like a poet. You speak like a poet. You're giving poetry. Dr. Reeves, Billie Holiday, that was excellent. I loved it, I loved it, I loved it. But do keep in mind that when we do table topics, make sure you get permission from the Toastmaster to see if you can carry on above 3 or 4 people. Mind you, it's a meeting and we want to stay on the clock. So put it in the chat, send it out to the person, get that information first. So that way everybody will be on the same page. So nothing really won't get cut off near the end. Okay, but I love the Billie Holiday.
Natasha asked me whether I could take another person.
Okay, I just want to throw it out there because I'm the general evaluator, so I need to know what's going on too. So you got to put it in that chat so I'll know what's going on. Because if I don't know, then I'm like, oh, I just want to make sure we stay on the clock, but that was excellent. We all need to just communicate so the person that's given that information will already have it because I'm constantly looking at the chat and we do have to try to look at the chat, especially those of us that are speaking. For instance, make sure if you're a Toastmaster, follow your agenda. The agenda you should have in front of you or ask somebody. So that way, when it gets to the part of switching roles, you'll know exactly who's the next person. I like the countdown, Dr. Reeves, when you gave everybody enough time to get their thoughts out. I really enjoyed that. That was excellent. Shauna, I love the way that you just took the role and introduced yourself as Billie Holiday for this evening. Now that was on point. I said, okay, that's what I'm talking about. Introduce yourself and laid it on the line, made sure that we knew exactly what you were talking about. The meeting was excellent and fantastic. I do have one thing that I would like to bring to everybody's attention. I received a book in the mail today. And the title, I won this book, matter of fact. And the title of it is Love Letters to My Girls. Some of you may remember it. It's a beautiful color. I haven't had time to read it. I just kept skimming through it until I ran across a page which had our president's information in it. Yeah, I'm selling this book, baby. Yes, I haven't had time to read it, so I can't go into it. And I don't want to take up too much time as well. So kudos out to our fine president, Natasha Brown, for being a part of a beautiful, beautiful Love Letters to My Girls. It's different authors giving their and critiquing about for our little brown-skinned girls. So I'm going to sit back and read this week. And if you get a chance, you can see Natasha and order your copy. Support our African-American men and women in every endeavor that they do. I would have purchased it, but I want it. Thank you. That is my time. And I yield my time back, like Maxine Waters said. Madam President.
Oh my goodness, I wasn't ready. My eyes over here watering up. Y'all know these allergies. Thank you so much, everybody. I was typing thank you in the chat. Thank you. So where are we? Y'all threw me off. Actually, the education corner. And I went ahead and allowed the screens to be shared so that our Vice President of Education could go ahead and give us some knowledge.
Yes, it does.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, distinguished guests. Give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. All right. Welcome to the Educational Corner. I'm Mr. Tyree. Today, we're going to show you how to get your extra path. So if you are right now.
Oh, these are different. Hot Pockets.
All right. If you are a Hot Pocket eater, this is going to be one for you. All right. All right. My favorite Hot Pocket is the one with the garlic on the outside. It's amazing. I did burn my tongue the other day. All right. So what I want you guys to do, if you guys are right now a current member, you actually have the opportunity to add additional path for free 99. Yes, free 99. I did mine this morning or this afternoon. I know Ryan's about to do his as well, and Natasha's about to grab hers today. So when you have the opportunity, I'm just going to show you how to quickly get your free path. All right. What does that mean? When you enter pathways, you have an opportunity to choose or go through a test to kind of figure out what would be the best suited path for you. But this time around, right, you have the opportunity to add an additional one for free. It's normally, I believe, $20, but this year, due to COVID, Toastmasters is giving everyone an additional path, but you got to do it quickly though, okay, before you change your mind. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go to pathways. Let's see if this is going to work. Come on. I'm going to go down to choose a path. All right, I'm going to scroll down. And if you go to the left side, it says $20. Do not worry, it's not going to charge you, all right? I'm going to select continue, path selection. You are now going to hit attain digital resource online via Basecamp. You're going to select, and then there's going to be a drop-down box. This is the assessment I was talking about. So you have the opportunity to figure out what path fits your goals. And then you still have the option to choose either one you want. Also, here are the paths options. So you have the opportunity to click on the plus sign to learn a little bit more about the path. Also, Frank was nice enough to give us a resource so we can actually go through and look at each level and your speech that you'll be giving for each of the new pathways you'll be choosing. So if you get an opportunity, just float around on Toastmasters International. And I decided to go with motivational strategies. So you click on it. You'll know that the path is confirmed because they're going to send you an email. And on the email, it will state you have chosen a path and the price will be $0 and you'll save $20. And that's all I have for today. So if you're a paid member, please reach out to me. You'll actually have the opportunity because you already paid for pathways. Please do not let this opportunity go by. For a free path for free, can't beat that price. And I'm going to stop sharing. My name is Robert Tyree, and that is your educational corner for this evening. All right, enjoy your hot pockets, y'all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Tyree. If anyone has any questions, he'll be in a breakout room a little later, so you can just slide on in there with him, get any of your questions asked. Thank you so much. I also am
You're muted. You're muted.
Wait, y'all didn't hear anything I said at all? None of it?
No.
Okay, so I said, thank you, Mr. Tyree. If anybody has any questions, they can go into a breakout room with him later and he'll answer any questions that you have. That's so funny. That was so fun. All right, and then that's the link where you can find several different things, but most of all, where you can order the book. Okay. All proceeds are going to the Embrace Her Naturally camp that we will be doing for our girls' spring break, girls 8 to 14. So I just wanted to say that before we got into talking about money, because we have Madam Red Bottoms coming up next.
Okay, I'm getting some feedback from Miss Fronnie, I think. If you could turn it down a notch, because my name changes at the end. It goes to Miss Red Bottoms. This is an awesome night, but I do have to talk to you about money. As of today, we have 9 paid members that renew. That's great. It's hard to get money. By the end of the March, everybody should be renewed. You can start paying now for, if you're already a member, it's $45, lasts for 6 months, plus $5 for the club. So totally it's $50. You can cash at me, you can send me a check if you need my address. Everybody will expire at the end of March if you have not already renewed. If you go on there, you can look at your date and it will tell you. If it says March till March 2021, you know you have to renew because April 1st is when everybody should be renewed. And that's because of the fact you will not be able to continue to give speeches and get credit for it or participate in the club other than table topics. But the great speeches that we have been hearing and our stimulus checks is pushing their way out to us. So I know everybody will be able to pay. Now, if you fall on hard times, we do have some money available from some awesome people that's always giving donations. So keep that in mind. If you want to continue to work on it, just let me know. $50 for renewal. If you pay for the month of March, keep in mind you're still going to have to renew for April to September. So it's every 6 months. If you're new and you want to join, don't stop coming. Continue to come, participate in table topics. You can send your application in and I can kick you in for April, which will be a total of, it'll be $70 for you being new. It'll be 50 plus the 20 that goes to the International Toastmasters. Thank you. Any questions? Do reach out to me. Back to you, Madam President.
Awesome. So one thing that I want to say is, if you all know that you're interested in taking on a role for next week, can you put that in the chat while I say the next few things? One, we talked about membership. We talked about renewal, which gets me excited. I know you hear the voice variation. The tone got a little higher, right? So I'm excited because it's March. Okay, it is March. It's Women's History Month. That just came out. That's not where I was going with this, but awesome that we, got Billie Holiday in there on this Monday. But what I was really talking about is March Madness. Okay, March Madness. Okay, so March Madness, that is just like a membership rally. Every Monday in March, we're going to have a guest speaker. We're going to have door prizes for the people who bring the most guests. That's just one example of a door prize. We could have door prizes for, let's see, the first person that comes on with their camera on. I don't know. We're going to shake it up. We're going to keep it exciting. We really love you joining us each Monday. We've thought about some great ways to also bring, say shake up again, but bring a little shift to our meetings. So we'll talk more about that next week, because next week we will have our table topics marathon. I can do any role that nobody picked. That's amazing. Thank you, Rose. So along with our guest speaker, who will be Miss Crystal Sylvester, she will be our guest speaker, but we also can have a prepared speech. So if you're interested in speaking, you can still speak. And we will also have extended table topics. So I hope you all are ready. I'm ready. What else did I want to say? Representation matters. I was all over the place with this question because I didn't know what I wanted to say. But I'll say, back in the day, I wanted to be, I'm trying to find my virtual background. I like these. I wanted to be a teacher, okay? And I'm a teacher now, but I did not want to be a teacher for the same reasons why I'm a teacher now. I kind of wanted to be a teacher because when I was younger, I saw that they had the holidays and the summer break off, and that looked good to me. But as I got older, I started to see a lot of my family members engage with youth. Like my aunt was a teacher. She had a summer camp. My godmother worked with children all of the time. I was like baby whisperer growing up. Children loved me. So I knew that ultimately I would like to work with youth. Ended up working more along the juvenile justice side before I got into the classroom. But guess what? I'm here. So that is my tidbit about who I wanted to be, and also the fact that I definitely agree that representation matters. When I look at Shauna, I see something like with her divineering. We talked about people being able to see things that they didn't even imagine. So you can't necessarily look up, on a career search, wanting to be a divineer, but because she is availing herself to classrooms like mine, young girls get to see that STEM ain't just for them. So again, representation matters. Thank you for asking that question. Anybody else want to share? We have some guests in the house. Y'all want to introduce yourself? Say, did you enjoy the meeting? I know, we have a first time, a not so first time. Not gonna call anybody out. You can just come off mute if you want, or if anyone else has anything great to share. What y'all gonna do? What y'all doing between this Monday and next?
Natasha?
Yes.
Did you make an announcement about the contest that we're having in terms of how many guests to bring, whoever brings the most guests?
Yeah, but you go ahead and do it since you are leading the door prizes for next Monday. So go ahead, girl. Highlight that.
So next I believe every week, right? Every week we'll be having a contest and just trying to encourage our members to invite guests and participate in our wonderful meeting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to host the first door prize. So whichever member can bring the most guests, I'll be giving, I believe I'm going to be sponsoring someone's membership or two people's membership. So if you're interested in renewing and you want me to sponsor or you just want to bring some guests, please bring them. That is our incentive. I'm going to be sponsoring your membership. So 2 people. And while I got the mic, I might as well keep going. In terms of the chat, I see that we have some roles filled. People have volunteered for some roles. If you were still needing a table topics master for sure. So if you're interested in that, please volunteer. As far as Tabitha, great job being Toastmaster, and her question, representation matters. For me, actually, yeah, when I was younger, who I looked up to, y'all, was Mary J. Blige. I love me some Mary J. Blige, and I think I resonated with her because of her authenticity. And my mom played it a lot. And so as a younger lady, I didn't really understand the lyrics or the pain that she may have been going through, but the way she looked on the video and her blonde hair and stylish clothes, and also dominating, and she's the queen of hip hop, so she dominating in the male, the predominantly male industry, so she's giving that diva, that boss. That's actually who I actually wanted to be like when I grew up. So definitely wanted to share that. And also probably why the diva near situation goes on. Like, I'm not just an engineer, I'm a diva. And when I talk to the young ladies, I often let them know that I didn't have an engineering mom or grandmom or auntie or teacher or anything like that inspired me to become an engineer. I just like that when I was introduced to what engineers do, they get paid to solve problems. I'm like, shoot, I'm smart, I can solve some problems. And that's how I chose the career path. But that's all I have. I don't know if we have anyone that wanted table topics. Miss Eva. Okay. So I think, Natasha, I'm handing this back to you. I believe I fulfilled my role as secretary. I believe we have all of the spots fulfilled, unless someone wants to be a speaker. If anyone wants to speak, that would be great.
Awesome. Well, if we have all the roles filled, then it's a party. It's a party. Wait, what Miss Eva say? Put my hands in front of me. It's a party. It's a party. All right. Thank you all. Thank you for being with us this evening. I'm going to go ahead and hit the gavel. Here we go. Boom, boom. Hit the gavel and close us out for this evening. Bye, people who are looking at